Welcome to Crossroads Online. This is just one part of what we do here at Crossroads Community Church in Trumbull, Connecticut. My name is Tom Kay, and I'm the lead pastor. I'm just so excited that you decided to join us today for this online event. Crossroads exists to help all of us love God and love others, and we do that by building communities in the greater Fairfield County area where people can come to know and grow in Jesus in a way that draws others to him. That's why we exist. That's why we're happy that you are here with us today. Please take this opportunity to check out our website, get in touch with us, find out a little bit more about us, and we would love to get a chance to know a little bit more about you. If you have been with us for a while and you know what this is all about, you guys know what I'm going to ask you to do now. Hit that share button, forward this to some friends and family who could use a little love and encouragement, some hope, some joy that only Jesus can bring. We are really honored that you decided to join us here today. My hope and my prayer is that as a result of your time with us, you would be moved at least one step closer to Jesus.
Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. Where you move, I'll move. I will follow. All your ways are good, all your ways are sure. I will trust in you alone, higher than my sight, high above my life. I will trust in you alone. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow you. Whom you love, I'll love. Whom you serve, I'll serve. If this life I lose, I will follow you. Yeah, I will follow you. Yeah. Light into the world, light into my life. I will live for you alone. You're the one I see, knowing I will find all I need in you alone. In you alone. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow you. Whom you love, I'll love. How you serve, I'll serve. If this life I lose, I will follow you. Yeah, I will follow you. Yeah. In you there's life everlasting. In you there's freedom for my soul. In you there's joy, unending joy. And I will follow. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow you. Whom you love, I'll love. How you serve, I'll serve. If this life I lose, I will follow you. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow you. Whom you love, I'll love. How you serve, I'll serve. If this life I lose, I will follow you. Yeah, I will follow you. Yeah, I will follow you. Yeah, I will follow you.
Hello everyone, Leanne here. As I reflect on the summer series we're in, I'm so excited to keep thinking about who we are as a community of Jesus followers. As we get to know Jesus in the pages of the Bible, we see over and over again his lived out example of giving, sacrifice, and generosity. As we follow his example and give generously of our time, our abilities, and our resources, Proverbs 11 tells us that we will prosper. I love the second half of verse 25. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Prospering is not limited to God's provision of our material needs. It is much bigger and fuller than that. Refreshing others with love, a meal, a prayer, or an education brings refreshment to us as a community in return. We share in an increased sense of God's grace, love, and care for us and for the communities we're in. How awesome is that? At Crossroads, giving of our monetary offerings is safe, easy, and secure. You can mail a check to the address on the screen, or you can give online by clicking the link in the chat box or by going to crossroadsct.info/giving. Thank you for following Jesus' example and being a generous community.
Hello, Crossroads. My name is Dan Agabidi. You may know myself and my wife, Sherry. We do volunteer work with youth ministry, and today I'm very excited to be doing the message reflection. So for my message reflection, I'm going to do something pretty simple. I'm just going to answer the question that Pastor Tom posed at the end of the message, which is, what is God saying to you about change? Now, for me, when I think about change, and I think when a lot of people think about change, but for me personally, when I think about change, my immediate reaction is to say, I don't like change, which is by and large true. I like things to stay the same. I like things to be kind of predictable. I like a certain flow and a certain rhythm. I like to be able to see things coming. And I thought about that for a while. And honestly, the more I've thought about it, the more I've realized that it's kind of nonsense, that I actually love change. And so by that, I mean, I get a raise at work. I was going in one day making X money. The next day I go in making X plus more money. That's change. Recently we were blessed to replace Sherry's laughably old 98 Camry with 300,000 miles on it. That was change. And as I was thinking about those situations, I loved that change. I loved making money more work. I loved, Sherry and I loved not having to pray that her car would make it to work each day. And so I thought to myself, I've been thinking to myself, okay, so if it's not change per se that I don't like, then what is it? And I think for me, just the answer that I've arrived at is that I don't like not being able to look into a specific situation and easily see a favorable outcome. So something like a new car, raise at work, that's an easy assessment. Boom, more money, boom, new car. That's easy to assess. But I don't like looking into the near future or the far future and not knowing what's going to happen. And even if it's, a situation I'm going into where I don't think it's going to go well, I still want to know what happens, which again is even sillier because it's as if my worrying can actually do anything about this upcoming situation, and it just can't. So as I was thinking just sort of about change, and specifically the change that Jesus is doing in me, it's just really, it's so beautiful to think that Jesus went to the cross and he died on our behalf so that I could be made more like him. And it's just such an encouraging message. And while that is a change that's good, it's also going to come with some stuff that my mortal flesh is going to see as not good. There's going to be things about me that have to change that are uncomfortable. And I think even when I sort of look at the church as a whole and the church body as a whole, Jesus died to make the whole church body also start to resemble him and start to look more like him, and to make earth start to look more like heaven. And that's also going to require some change. And I think for me, when I think about the idea of being made more in the image of God and being made more in his likeness, the piece of literature that always jumps out to me is toward the end of Mere Christianity, when C.S. Lewis says the following. He's quoting George MacDonald. I couldn't find MacDonald's original passage, so George, get better SEO. I don't know what to tell you. Imagine yourself living as a house. God comes in to rebuild that house. At first, perhaps, you can understand what he is doing. He is getting the drains right and stopping the leaks in the roof and so on. You knew that those jobs needed doing, and so you are not surprised. But presently he starts knocking the house about in a way that hurts abominably and does not seem to make sense. What on earth is he up to? The explanation is that he is building quite a different house from the one you thought of, throwing out a new wing here, putting on an extra floor there, running up towers, making courtyards. You thought you were going to be made into a decent little cottage, but he is building a palace. He intends to come and live in it himself. And boy, if that hasn't looked like my walk with Jesus so far. There's the easy stuff. I get overly competitive. I tend to, I'll curse when I'm angry, like all the blatantly obvious stuff. But then there's little idolatries that, you start to pick up when you get married, or you're exposed to change, or you're exposed to certain situations and you start to, work full time. And those are things that you wouldn't have thought to change. And that Jesus is saying, no, I want you to change that because I want to make you more like me. And I was thinking too about the church just as a whole. And oh boy, the part about knocking down walls and just kicking in door frames. There has been, a lot of change at Crossroads. And I think every church in America, there's obvious things that they could change. We could tweak this, we could tweak that. And then COVID's just kind of come in as this force and just kicked in the doors on all of what we're doing. And now we're faced with a very uncertain time and a very uncertain future. And so it's scary. I'm a little nervous right now. I don't know how the future's going to look. And that's not a position I particularly like being in. But it's so encouraging to know that Jesus is committed to making us more like him. He's committed to making me more like him, and he's committed to making his church as a whole look more like him. And, what specific role Crossroads is going to play in that, I have no idea. But it's so reassuring to know that he's committed to changing us, and he's committed to changing us in a way that makes him look more like him, and he's committed to changing us in a way that is going to make us more of a light to those around us. So I'm going to end my reflection with a passage from 1 John chapter 3. See what kind of love the Father has given to us, that we should be called children of God. And so we are. The reason why the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Beloved, we are God's children now, and what we will be has not yet appeared. But we know that when he appears, we shall be like him, because we shall see him as he is. And everyone who thus hopes in him purifies himself as he is pure. So thank you for giving me the chance to come and do this, and praise God for his commitment to our change.
Hey everyone, Leanne here. Thanks for being with us tonight. Before you go, I just want to highlight some things we've got coming up in August. Next Sunday, Sunday the 15th, we will be in person at Stratford for our Look Up service. It is going to be a whole service of worship and prayer, and we're really excited about that. So put that on your calendar. And if you can stay for 15-20 minutes after service, we are going to be packing some toiletry kits for our next Reach Out Sunday, which is the following Sunday, the 22nd. Keep an eye out for sign-ups for all our various locations. And then on Thursday the 26th at our Trumbull building, Scruff and Rachel Safarian are going to be hosting a prayer and pizza night for praying for our students that are going back to school very soon. We invite everyone to come, all ages, come as a family, have some pizza and spend an hour in prayer preparing for our kids to go back to school. And then finally on Sunday the 29th, we have our in-person service. It's going to be our end of summer worship and celebration, 9 a.m. in Stratford. We're going to have a whole bunch of information about the fall and some really awesome food. There will be sign-ups coming out soon for all of these. Keep an eye on crossroadsct.info and plan to join us. Thanks again for being with us. We're praying for you. Have a great week.